So we're going to come into a bit of a different space now. The intro's done. First of all, I want you to know that this video is bathed in light and heart energy. We have a massive spiritual team here with us, bathing us in light and love. So maybe just, if you can, if you're in a traumatic space right now, don't worry. We're doing, me and whoever else is watching who was able to do this, is doing this on your behalf. This video is bathed in light, and it's going to cushion us all the way through, back to your protection, safety, peace, joy. It was 2.5 years ago when I came across more information about the dark, about the swamp. And I had an extreme traumatic response to it. Now, it felt like, kind of felt like the world had sort of gone into like static, like it was quite a break from reality for me. I didn't know how I was going to stay on this earth knowing what I now knew. How could any part of me stay on a planet when things like that were going on? And when agendas like that were playing out? It was, there's no words really. I would say it was kind of soul shattering. It was just absolutely shattering to know such things existed. And it went very deep. Heartbroken doesn't cut it. I was beside myself with, how do I stay on this planet? And I also had the sense that on some level I'd sort of opened myself up to that, and it just felt like this insurmountable amount of darkness, and it felt very powerful. And I had no map at all for how to deal with that. So I was definitely in shock and dissociation, and just, as I say, absolutely soul shattered. That's how it felt. I felt absolutely shattered, and I felt incredibly unsafe. I actually felt unsafe, just sitting in my bedroom, wherever I was at the time. I felt on a soul level really unsafe. Now, you might not have been through such an extreme one, or you might have touched on that a little bit, or it might have been more of a mild reaction where you're feeling a bit messed up by it, but you're basically okay. Now, whatever you're dealing with on that spectrum of, traumatized all the way to severely traumatized, I'm going to keep referring to my most difficult experience, so you can then take from it what you need to. Okay. And I just want to say to all of you, but especially those of you who are feeling absolutely wiped away and unsafe, I'm not sure if you can come back. You can, and you will, and you are. You are coming back right now, and you will get through this. I know it may all feel absolutely impossible right now, but you will get through this. I am living testament that you will get through this. I got through it, you will get through it. And I want to say to all of you, you will all find it so much easier than me, partly because you're watching this video, and secondly, because compared to 2.5 years ago, there is so much more light on the planet. And when there is more light on the planet, we are filled with more light, and it is literally, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually easier. We are more resilient to that information. So you will just find it easier than I did. Now, having said all that, you do not need to go through massive trauma. Okay, I want to make that clear as well. I'm not saying, anyone who's not had a really disturbing experience yet needs to go off and find one. Just stay in the moment. We'll just deal with what you've already had to deal with. And I'll get on to later on how to know when to stop looking, how to know when is enough. And I'll be quite specific about that so you can really trust where you are, how resilient you are, what you're on this earth to do. Let's all get through this with the minimum trauma, okay? The minimum. I'm just going to give you my example, just for those of you who have been through similar, which will, to be honest, will be very few of you, I think. That's not an ego thing at all. I just mean there's just no need to go through quite that much trauma. And for everyone else, yeah, let's just keep the trauma to a minimum. Okay, guys? Yeah, don't want to say anything else about that. Oh, my heart is just so full of love for all of you, and myself, and that we're all going through this. So, what did I do? So I'm in this state of, I've just become aware of a whole new level of the swamp and what's really going on. Deeply, deeply disturbing. I'm feeling in complete shock. I was dissociated. I was in that staticky break from reality. I didn't know how I could stay on the planet whilst all that was going on. And it felt like this darkness has sort of permeated everywhere. So I'd looked into the darkness and now it felt like it was permeating everywhere. So that was the experience I was in. The first thing I did, this is spiritual practice rule, 101, set intention. So I said to myself, I choose the light. I choose the light. I choose the light. I also did this looking up into the sky, so broadening my awareness, opening myself up. I choose the light. I choose the light. Literally engaging the heavens. I choose the light. Now, that expression, that phrase is really powerful because it's saying, even though this darkness was now in my world, it's saying no to that, and it's saying I choose the light, which opens up the doorway for all of my spiritual team, so all of my higher selves, all the way up to 3D, all the way up to from 3D to 12D, opens up to loving source, opened up to all my guides, all the ascended masters who are helping me. It was the green light for them to pour in light and love. When we set intentions, it's not like the universe is like some little person in an office waiting for the desires to come in and saying, tick, yes, that one. No, it's about the universe, our spiritual family of light, whatever you call them, your higher selves, your spiritual family, your ancestors, your galactic family, whatever name you have for your spiritual team, including Source, all the way up to Source and I Am Presence. They are your family, all the way up to omnipresence. They are your family and they are invested in you and they want you to have every desire, and they know your desires. They know your heart, they know your soul, they know what incredible, loving, gorgeous person you are. They know your deepest self as intrinsically beautiful and loving and brave and strong and innocent, completely of the light, innocent. They know you and they know what you want. They know what you want to express in this life. But we just have to give them the green light to bring it. And the reason we need to give them the green light is because we have free will. We are an individuated being of divine source. And we have free will to live our life as we choose. So we just need to give the green light for what we've already chosen, really, because it's already what we want and our spiritual team know what we want, but we still have to give the green light to say, yes, bring it. So that's what happens when you say, I choose the light, I choose the light, I choose the light. Have I just said this? I don't know. I'm going to say it again anyway. If you're not feeling it in that moment, I mean, I'd be very, very surprised if you are feeling it. You're in trauma response, right? I was not feeling it. I didn't feel any light. I didn't feel love. I couldn't feel my guides, but I knew to say it. And looking back now, absolutely, I was being bathed in light. I couldn't feel it yet, but it doesn't matter. That is what is happening. That is how powerful our intention setting is, particularly in these very heightened traumatic experiences. When we then, wield that sword of our intention, it is powerful. Now, I then elaborated on my intention. I said, authentic higher self, I will be safe. Because I was not feeling safe. I needed to get to safety. That I knew. I needed to get to safety. That was the burning issue. I needed to get back to safety mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I will be safe. I also needed that massive problem over there, which was the darkness I'd seen and all the poor souls involved in the atrocities and what was going on. I needed them to be safe as well. I needed them with every cell of my being. I needed them to be safe as well. We are one. I needed all of them to be safe. I needed that suffering to stop instantly. But I couldn't make that happen, but I could get one step towards it. So the intention was, I will be safe. All souls will be safe. I will feel protected again. I will feel free and completely of the light. Those were my intentions. Again, I couldn't feel them at the time. I know with manifesting we're taught we have to really feel it, really get behind it. My experience is when we are going through these deepest trials and we feel lost in the darkness, you're just not going to feel it. And that's okay. It's okay. It's almost like there are special rules for when we're going through these dark nights. Our spiritual team is right there. They are listening acutely for us just to press the green button. Just say the words, say them out loud. You only have to say them once and it pulls everything in that you need. So do not worry if you're not feeling it. Just say it. Say your intention, where you want to get to. An important part I want to explain. You know how we're always taught we need to make intentions of I am, what I am right now, bring it into the present. I am abundant. I am, whatever it is you're bringing in. That's great. And yes, do that normally. What I found when I was deeply in trauma response, no part of me could even conceive of feeling safe. There was no part of me that believed it on any level, that in that moment I was safe, let alone the poor souls involved. It was too far away to then impose on myself, but I am safe. I couldn't get there. I couldn't believe it in that moment because I was in such a trauma response. All the evidence in front of me that I'd seen, all the evidence within me of everything I was feeling, just did not equate to I am safe. So in that case, I needed to make the intention more manageable. I needed to make the intention just one little step away from where I was, which was feeling incredibly unsafe. Now the next step for me was, I will be safe. All souls will be safe. And that was enough. My brain and my traumatized brain and body were like, I can get on board with that. Like, you're honouring the fact that no part of you feels safe, whilst taking that one step closer to feeling safe again. I also want to assure you that you would not have seen what you've seen or read what you've read about the dark unless you were a being of light. You would not be having a trauma reaction to it unless you were a being of light. I just want to make that really clear, because when we have these experiences of coming across the darkness, it can bring up a lot of questions about, who am I? Am I dark? Am I evil? And I want to categorically say, no, you're not. And I will cover that in a bit more depth later on. But for now, I just want to say absolutely no, you're not. And you would not be having this trauma response unless you were a being of pure light. And you would not even have been able to see into the darkness as a being of light if you were not a very powerful being of light. What do I mean? If that dark information had come across your radar and you were not a powerful being of light, you would not even have seen it. You know when you get like blank expressions from people with certain information, they just can't take any of it in. It would have been like that for you. You would just not have seen it. It takes light to go into and see the darkness for what it is. Even the darkness itself, it has a lot of what I call stolen power, but it doesn't actually have power itself because it doesn't see itself. If the darkness looked in a mirror for 1 second, it wouldn't be able to stand it. It's like the Dorian Gray effect, that story. I'll cover that more about what the darkness is and its belief system in another video. But just know, there is no way you would have seen what you'd seen if you were not a powerful and pure being of light. And it's a testament, even if you feel shattered right now, it is a testament to your strength and the purity of your light that you were able to see what you've seen or read what you've read about the dark. And I honour you for your bravery.